Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are completely decoding the examiner's playbook for topic 14.1 of the Cambridge Information Technology syllabus. Now, whether you are currently studying code 9626-0417, 0478, 2210, or 9618, you already know that network topologies, both physical and logical, along with architectures and protocols, are absolutely essential for your exam success. This topic is an absolute heavyweight. It is not an exaggeration to say it appears in every single examination series without fail. But here is the massive challenge. And honestly, it's something I see all the time. Students are constantly leaving easy, totally achievable marks right there on the table. I want you to picture this scenario for a second. Imagine we have two typical students sitting down for their Cambridge computer science exam. Let's call them Alex and Sam. When confronted with a massive, high-mark question on network architecture, Alex completely panics and just overloads the page with raw facts. I'm talking about listing every single tiny detail about star and bus topologies, but with absolutely zero real analysis of the scenario. On the other hand, we have Sam. Sam rushes through the paper, completely misses the specific command word requirements in the prompt, and writes this really vague, generalized response that could apply to literally anything. If we were to look at their papers side by side right now, we would just see a massive sea of red pen marks. They are both incredibly smart students, they both studied hard, but they are both losing critical marks. Today, we are going to fix that completely. We're going to build bulletproof arguments with stress-tested evidence and quality control.
Okay, let's take a quick look at our agenda for today's masterclass. 1. The 14.1 challenge. 2. Core principles of assessment. 3. The procedural framework. 4. Deconstruct and evaluate. And finally, 5. We're going to uncover those sneaky examiner traps. Let's jump right in.
So, Section 1, the 14.1 challenge. Let's figure out exactly why this specific topic trips up so many incredibly bright students year after year.
Here is the big question. Even when students know the technical definitions perfectly, like they can recite the textbook backward, they still consistently drop crucial method marks on these specific exam questions. Why does this happen? Well, let's go back and look at our students, Alex and Sam. Now, Alex knows exactly what a mesh topology is. Alex knows exactly what a client-server architecture looks like. But when the exam paper specifically asks, evaluate the use of a mesh topology for a new global logistics firm, what does Alex do? Alex just writes out a textbook definition. There is absolutely no application to the actual firm. There is no logical method shown. Meanwhile, Sam writes something like, mesh is better because it's reliable, which completely ignores the multi-stage analysis required to actually justify why it is reliable in the specific context of a global logistics firm. You simply cannot build a bulletproof argument without stress-tested evidence and strict quality control of your writing. You have to remember that method marks in Cambridge exams are awarded for the actual process of your thinking, not just arriving at the final destination. The examiner wants to see the gears turning in your head. They want to see how you connect the technical facts to the real-world scenarios sitting right there in front of you.
Since this specific subject matter is literally guaranteed to appear on your paper, understanding exactly what the examiner is looking for is absolutely vital for your success. You simply cannot skip this. You can't just skim the chapter on protocols the night before and hope for the best. You need a rock-solid system. Before we continue, subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right now. Okay, let's get back into the strategy.
Moving on to Section 2, the core principles of assessment. To fix the problem of those lost marks, we really need to understand the fundamental ways your answers are actually being graded by the examiner.
The assessment objectives for computer science target these three distinct cognitive domains, meaning memorization alone is never, ever enough. Take a look at these three slices on the screen. The first slice is knowledge and understanding. That is your basic recall. That's remembering what an IP address is. But the marks quickly scale up into the next two slices, application and analysis. To conquer these higher cognitive domains, you must decode the command words in the prompt. Does the question say state? Does it say describe, explain, or evaluate? These aren't just random words. They are specific instructions telling you exactly how deep to go. Top students don't just write down everything they know. They structure their answers using the PEL framework. That stands for point, evidence, explanation, and link. Let's break that down. If you make a point about a client-server architecture, you then have to provide evidence directly from the exam scenario. Next, you explain exactly how the protocols manage data collisions within that setup. And finally, you link it all back to the business's core problem. If you take 30 seconds right now to mentally review your last mock exam, I bet you'd find a whole lot of points, but very little evidence or explanation. That is exactly where the marks are hiding.
This quote right here brilliantly illustrates the core expectation of the entire syllabus. Examiners are actively looking for logical, structured reasoning rather than a scattered, messy list of basic facts. They would vastly prefer to see you deeply analyze two specific network protocols and critically explain how their packet switching methods directly affect the given scenario, rather than see you broadly list 10 different network acronyms without explaining a single one of them. Analytical depth is your absolute golden ticket to those top-tier grade boundaries. Depth always beats breadth.
All right, Section 3, the procedural framework. How do we actually achieve that analytical depth in the middle of a stressful exam? We need a system. What you are looking at right now is the exact standardized sequence of systematic processing you must use to solve complex data interpretation problems on your paper. Let's do a live transformation right here. If we put 60 seconds on the clock, we can guide our students, Alex and Sam, to completely rewrite those flawed answers from earlier. Step 1, identify the key elements of the prompt. Is the question actually asking about a physical topology or a logical one? You have to know the difference. Step 2, apply the relevant IT principles. Step 3, execute the analysis using our Peel framework that we just talked about. Step 4, verify the results. Ask yourself, does this paragraph actually answer the specific question that was asked, or am I just rambling? As Alex and Sam apply these exact steps, you can literally see their paragraphs transform from a disjointed mess of random facts into cohesive, high-scoring arguments. The red pen marks vanish and the green check marks appear. They are actively applying the computer science success blueprint, and that changes everything.
Now, step 5 of that sequence is incredibly critical, because presenting your information using these strict professional conventions is heavily required to secure full credit. Using the exact correct terminology is completely non-negotiable. Don't sit there and call it a central computer like you're talking to your grandma. Use the proper term and call it a dedicated file server. If you are asked to draw a network diagram, don't just sketch a few boxes and lines. Use clear, standardized annotations to specifically show the data flow and the protocol layers. Stop scrolling. Subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. We've helped thousands of students improve by 2 to 3 grade boundaries. Join them right now by subscribing to @acetheexams_IGCSE and turn on all notifications so you never miss our weekly exam strategy sessions.
Let's transition into Section 4, deconstruct, solve, and evaluate. This is where we take everything we've learned and build it into the highest order skill required for Topic 14.1, critical analysis.
This framework on your screen is your absolute ultimate blueprint for tackling those really complex exam scenarios that demand an evaluation of different networking alternatives. Welcome to our interactive workshop segment. I want you to get really focused here. Imagine you are staring at a highly complex data table on your exam paper showing packet loss rates across several different network topologies. For Challenge 1, our data scan, I want you to imagine a 60-second visual countdown timer right here on the screen. 60 seconds. You must extract the core trend from that data. Are errors compounding rapidly on the bus topology when compared to the star topology under heavy load? You need to spot that instantly. Next up is Challenge 2, find the flaw. I'm going to give you a flawed sample paragraph. Imagine reading this. The peer-to-peer network is best for this office because it uses a central server to control all the files. You need to instantly spot the massive contradiction there. Peer-to-peer networks absolutely do not rely on a central server. That is the whole point of them. Identifying these glaring flaws and breaking down the information logically is the pure essence of the deconstruct, solve, evaluate method. Examiners love to see you catch these nuances.
Now, when a question specifically requires comparative analysis, you cannot just list a bunch of differences. That is a rookie mistake. You must identify similarities and differences, and you must use proper comparative connectives supported by clear, undeniable evidence. This brings us to Challenge 3, speed writing. Imagine a 30-second timer counting down right now. You have 30 seconds to write one perfect Peel paragraph comparing a physical star topology with a logical bus topology. Go! To pull this off, you absolutely must use words like whereas, conversely, or similarly. For instance, a perfect sentence would look like this. Both topologies utilize a central connecting device. However, the logical bus dictates that data packets are broadcast to all nodes simultaneously, whereas the physical star allows the switch to direct packets only to the intended recipient. Do you hear the difference? That level of precise specificity is exactly what the examiner is dying to see on your paper.
So the crucial takeaway here is that a top-tier A-star answer doesn't just describe what a topology is. It actually evaluates the different approaches and formally justifies why one is definitively better than the other for the given scenario. You must progress up the cognitive ladder. You start by describing the base characteristics, then you analyze how those specific characteristics impact the unique network described in the exam scenario. Finally, you evaluate by making a firm, confidently justified recommendation. For example, therefore, given the hospital's strict requirement for zero network downtime and absolute patient data security, a client-server architecture paired with a physical star topology is the only viable recommendation because. And then you give your evidence. That is exactly how you build a 100% bulletproof argument that an examiner cannot take marks away from.
We are in the home stretch now. Section 5, Examiner Traps. For our final section, we are pulling information directly from the principal examiner reports to reveal exactly where students throw away their hard-earned points.
Believe it or not, there are exactly 3 major mistakes that examiners repeatedly flag in the Topic 14.1 responses year after year. We are going to transform these common failures into our 3 definitive rules that guarantee top marks. Rule 1, command word decoding. Rule 2, Peel framework application. And Rule 3, the time management matrix. If you master these 3 rules, you are practically bulletproof. These 3 traps act as a serious cautionary tale, warning us that ignoring presentation or misinterpreting the specific context will immediately derail your entire score. Trap number 1 is using the wrong approach for the context. This is like suggesting a massively expensive, incredibly complex fiber optic mesh network for a tiny, budget-constrained, 3-person charity office. It just proves to the examiner you aren't thinking about the real world. Trap 2 is forgetting your formatting. This means submitting a massive, intimidating block of unreadable text instead of utilizing proper headings, bullet points, and clear annotations where appropriate. And Trap 3, well, Trap 3 is the most dangerous one of them all.
The absolute most classic mistake in all of Cambridge computer science is providing generic textbook answers. If you do not tie your methodology and your knowledge directly back to the specific context of the exam question, you will lose massive amounts of marks. Examiners are trained to spot a memorized, copy-pasted response from a mile away. Let's say the question is about a retail bank's branch architecture. Your answer must explicitly mention the branch tellers, the central banking servers, and the specific high-level security protocols required for handling sensitive financial data. If you just write down a generic, boring list of client-server benefits that you memorized without actually mentioning the bank or the tellers once, your score gets capped immediately, no matter how technically accurate those facts are. Context is quite literally everything.
As you sit down to practice your next set of past papers, I want you to keep this crucial question in your mind. Are you simply memorizing generic IT facts like Alex, or are you actually ready to build justified, context-specific recommendations that secure full method marks? Applying this structural rigor, utilizing the Peel framework, and deeply analyzing the context is the true, undeniable secret to mastering your Cambridge examinations. The complete methodology is now in your hands. Students who implement these computer science strategies see an average improvement of 2 grade boundaries, but only if they practice consistently with our weekly videos. Here's your final reminder. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Subscribe right now to @acetheexams_IGCSE and click that bell. Don't let another exam pass you by. Drop a comment below with your target grade for computer science and the biggest challenge you're facing. Our team responds to every comment. Like and share this video with a study partner. Ace the Exams, your Cambridge success starts here.